Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and of course, yes, it is the Reina Creole watch party where we kick back with just a really cool film, somewhere between late 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We just have fun watching the film, doing commentary on the film, and just having a good time enjoying cinema. And with me, of course, I've got Retro Nerd Girl, my regular,
Hi.
and author Douglas A. Burton joining us for the first time. How you doing? Well, for the watch
Awesome. I
party
feel
anyway.
great. How about you?
I am so stoked about this film, and of course the film that I am talking about. And for some reason, I hate it when things don't go exactly what they're gonna go. They're gonna go. But of course, the film that we're talking about this evening, and we're doing a watch party for, is John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978. This is, I want to call it a gateway drug to
Yeah.
slasher films,
Yeah.
but this was one of those that I saw in bits and pieces on like on cable, and didn't really get to see the whole entire thing until one time I like rented it on gotta date myself, VHS, and basically watched the whole film because I'd seen clips, heard about it, read the novel. Actually, that was the other thing. Like, I wasn't allowed to bring rated R movies into the house, so I'm like, oh, but I can buy the book at the bookstore or check it out at the library. And I read the book, and it's a horror story, but reads like a thriller. And I think that is the reason why this is the gold standard of horror movies, because it's the, who is this person wearing a mask coming after me, and what am I gonna know about it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Run as fast as you can.
Oh, what about you guys? Have you seen this film before? And two, I guess in the genre of horror films, how high is this one for you?
Well, I'm not
Retro,
the
did you want
biggest.
to answer first?
Yes, I'll start. I am not the biggest fan of horror movies, but I do. Some of my favorite movies are horror movies, and this falls under the slasher film kind of genre. In fact, it's almost like I would say the granddaddy. I would say the great granddaddy would be like Psycho, right? And like this is like the granddaddy, yeah.
Yes.
So like this was like they took the items from like what was really cool from Psycho, and I'm like, okay, well, let's do that here. We have, characters that are masked, and they're like, you don't know who they are, you don't know what's behind the face. You're trying to figure out the mystery of who these people are, and then you have these killings that are just so brutal, and you don't know exactly what's going on. It kind of unravels until the end, and you get this beautiful like storyline that connects everything to each other. That's what I like about this particular movie, this particular Halloween movie. So it's one of the films that I give a big thumbs up to as far as horror slasher movies are concerned. So yeah, definitely like this is a I would say a 10 for a movie. It's a perfect film. The music as well is another standout for me. So yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So just brilliant, just brilliant.
How about you,
Um,
Doug?
yeah, I agree. So I watched this kind of late to the game. I didn't see it in early on when it first came out. I saw it much later, but it leaves such an impression on you. The mood, the atmosphere. But when I try to think about what made this movie stand out, like what's different about it, what is it doing that maybe we hadn't seen before? You
Mm,
mentioned Psycho, which is obviously, like you said, the ultimate granddaddy classic. But you had Norman Bates there, and he seemed to be a mild-mannered guy. You know, he seemed to be someone who was adjusted, and then suddenly he wasn't. Michael Myers is none of that. You know, we are introduced to him as a child murderer. You know, that's pretty off-putting, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Damien, who is supernatural. And then there's a time skip, and we're reintroduced to Michael Myers. Michael Myers is human, right? But there's nothing. But he's inhuman. He's this thug, brute force kind of guy with a lot of presence in the show. So he's a different type of slasher, and you get the sense with Michael Myers. There's no reasoning with him. There's no discussing anything with him.
Yeah.
He's not gonna feel sympathy for you if you start screaming or being like, "Oh, I have kids." You know, doesn't care. This guy doesn't care. So there is something very creepy about him, and of course the mask is a blank face. You know, it's an expressionless, stoic face. So there's a lot about Michael Myers that makes this work.
Yeah, it's the face of Captain T. Kirk.
William Shatner.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know that until I want to say like 2 years ago. I think I'm like, really?
Now you can't unsee it because it's like, oh, yeah,
you can't. You can't. You really can't anymore. And speaking of masks, that is up there with one of the most recognizable Halloween costume masks. It's up there with Ghostface, Jason. Freddy didn't have one really. Freddy, well, yeah, kind of like with
Hannibal Lecter's mask.
Exactly. Those ones from the Purge, but Michael Myers, that one I would say is like number one, because that is just the OG. Jason, that was just convenient. Get a hockey mask and throw it on, you know.
These are very simple solutions to creating what became iconic monsters, really humanoid human monsters. And then of course with Michael Myers you also get the breathing, the mouth breather.
That the music, that's the other thing that John Carpenter is such a master at, to the point where it permeates pop culture. When you hear that, you automatically you just know. You just freeze up, and it's just like, okay, something's about to go down. So we are going to go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
No, I was just going to say that music. You're totally right. That music has completely transcended the genre. I mean, it's like if you just want to say here, let's talk about horror films. You could just play that theme, and you're there. We're ready to talk about horror films. So, I think you said something when we were on Retro's channel as we were wrapping up that I thought should be repeated. Lorena, you said this is pretty much the slasher film toolkit, and I thought that was a great comment.
I was Retro.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that you, Retro? Did you say that?
Yeah, Retro said that.
Oh yeah. Retro said it. The slasher film toolkit, basically a show that redefined the genre, and I think that that's exactly correct.
Yeah,
exactly. And that was why we'll get started soon. I'll say, after you watch this film, go watch Scream. Not the rest of them, the first one. That's the only one you need to watch.
Oh, perfect.
Watch that one, and you will see not only so many callbacks to Halloween, but even if you have sex, you're going to die. So you can't do that. They're going to come after you first. And you just laugh because you're just like, oh, shoot. Yeah, that did happen, in XYZ. So, definitely go back if you're the horror type. If you're too scared, just go watch Scary Movie. Same freaking thing.
Scary Movie,
Yeah, just watch Scary Movie. You will see the same callbacks when it comes to Halloween. So we are going to get our copies all queued up. Everyone should be all queued up by now. If you have your own copy, please do get that ready. I have to give the standard verbiage because we are live on YouTube. I cannot show the film completely as you would see it in streaming. I pull my stream down. I cannot play the audio as well. But what we will have a timer, of course, so you can see where we are in watching the film. And of course, you get our commentary as it goes along. You guys in the chat also give your commentary as it goes along. It's like we're all, in my house, and when you watch movies with your friends, you don't watch it in silence. Okay, there's
That's right.
snacks,
Yes.
and I wouldn't do that. Or, oh shoot, I forgot about that part.
Or run, girl, run.
Run! Don't go into that house. They're totally gonna go into that house. So let's see. I got the banner going on right there. Let's see.
Yeah, Halloween with Lorena. We're kicking off the Halloween week right now.
Yes, we are. Yeah,
we're on the countdown.
Totally. So everyone, get your snacks ready. I'm gonna borrow a hack from Retro Nerd Girl and put everybody there on the bottom. It's so perfect. I love it when I can borrow stuff from other folks. So with that said, folks, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I have like a little runner that starts in the beginning, kind of so folks can get like synced up and whatnot. So we'll probably be off by like a couple seconds. How this film starts with the type of music, it's just like, it's a score that I'd never quite heard before, and just how creepy it is when you start to slowly, and it took me a while, but you start to notice this camera is slowly zooming in on the jack-o'-lantern.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what else always I always found a little unsettling is that is not a very well carved pumpkin. It's very, basic. There's no frills. It's like a kid did it. So there's something even spookier about it. The fact that it's so basic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of pumpkin I would have carved, as a kid. Nothing that good.
That's way more talented than I would have done. That's for sure.
It kind of reminds me, actually, if you've ever seen this film called Trick or Treat. Yes. It's an anthology horror series. And it's close. But if you watch it, this pumpkin looks exactly like the kid with the jack-o'-lantern head in Trick or Treat. I just noticed that.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Trick or Treat.
Yeah. And there's Deborah Hill, producer.
I actually saw this in the theater with my mom, so I do remember.
Yeah, we lost Deborah Hill in 2005, but she was a female producer before they were common. In fact, Gail Ann Hurd credits her pretty heavily, but she did a lot of stuff. She was pretty heavily involved, and of course, this is one of the films she made that we all remember for sure. The Fog, Halloween 2, Escape from LA, or other ones.
Oh, The Fog was, oh man, I finally sat down and watched that about like 2 weeks ago. That was insane.
Really?
That was such a trippy movie.
Oh no,
I
they're
think we
making out.
did we do.
They're gonna
I
die.
think we did a watch party for that on my channel. God, they're all starting to run together. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, Deborah Hill also is the one who cast Jamie Lee Curtis, which
Really?
that's a pretty big call.
Really,
Yeah.
the cool thing about that with Jamie Lee Curtis, for people who don't know, Janet Leigh is her mother
Yeah, they look
from
so much alike.
Psycho. And
Yeah.
if you watch Halloween H2O, which is probably the best one to watch, just watch Halloween 1, 2, and H2O. Forget everything else. In H2O, there's a scene. Janet Leigh is in the film, and she's in front of this car, and it's the same car that she drove in Psycho.
Really?
Yeah.
They did that on purpose.
That's a great callback. Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
love
this
the
is a
POV. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna mention that because it really sets you up for this tension. Like, what's going on?
I
Yeah.
know.
And curiosity.
Oh, what's up, Bonzo?
Hey.
Oh, by the way, hi to everybody in the chat.
Yes. Welcome. Make sure you hit that like button. And this out of tune piano drives me nuts. But it's the best creepy thing, because the out of tune piano, no one's touched it for I don't know how long. So when you hear like an out of tune piano, it's just absolutely creepy.
They're
A
separated.
simple yet effective
And this poor
storytelling mechanism.
Yeah, this dude's off the hook. He hung out, messed around. He's headed home, and he escapes.
Yeah, just barely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also this is a very standard home from the 70s. So this isn't this isn't a mansion. This is very basic, and everything is so down to earth in this film. And for some reason, I do think that helps us connect to it in a scary way.
Yeah. Oh, there's the mask he was wearing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so this is all POV, like Retro said, and now we're a POV behind the mask, so we're getting that binocular type of vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's so wild, because you're just like, oh, when you're in a mask, your head and your body kind of works differently to make make sure you can see.
Right.
Yeah, to compensate.
Yeah. Oh no.
And you're just like, wait,
it's the sound
what?
Effect.
Yeah.
Because you thought it's just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
No, I was just gonna say, I always kind of got a kick out of that. The camera through the eye slits kind of pans up, and you can see him, with the knife coming in. I always get a kick out of that, because that means, like, in the middle of this act, he's like checking his hand out.
He's like, hey, looking at his hand.
And then the parents come home. But what were you gonna say, Lorena?
Oh my gosh, I like totally had a. Oh, like when that's mask and they're doing that POV, your field of vision is like it's focused. You can't, even if you wanted to look away from it, you really couldn't, because it's laser focused on what Michael's doing.
Yeah.
And at first you think, oh, is he just going to go in there and like scare his sister or something like that? You don't expect something this brutal to happen. And it makes you think, why would this kid do this?
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say. This was it's not like Damien the Omen or The Exorcist, which are two other films before this that had children as monsters, but they were both affected by the supernatural. You got a sense that that there was something other. That this is just a suburban kid on Halloween, in a clown costume, and now he's committed this murder. So I think there's something a little disturbing about that just by itself. And then we get the time skip and we see what this guy becomes later.
Thank you, Brad, for being here. Says hello, your channel just popped up, so here I am. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, Retro, for catching that, because sometimes with these watch parties, I'm watching two screens and sometimes the chat's covered up and I'll miss stuff. So
Welcome, Brad.
yes.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hopefully the algorithm did you well today.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We just enjoy watching movies and doing commentary, just film nerds, just having fun. And it never ceases to amaze me. They have no seatbelts on.
Yeah.
And smoking and lighting up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just lighting up a match while they're driving. Oh my gosh.
It's so funny because I remember when I was a kid, because I was born in 1976. So, I'm a late 70s kid. And my parents had a Pinto. And I remember being in the back of this Pinto and no seatbelts. My parents would drive and me and my sister were rolling around back there like bowling balls, helter skelter. So it's just funny to think about that. I was like, man, we just weren't too worried about stuff back then.
No. Your parents are driving, you stand up in the back of a car, no seatbelt on, just kind of hanging out and doing whatever. And to get back to Doug's point, these houses are pretty much like any house that you would see on an American street. It's it's not a mega mansion. It's very just middle class neighborhood, nondescript houses. And we have here the stereotypical, it's a dark and stormy night.
Right. And that clip they showed where they have the mental patients just kind of milling about in the darkness. That's just that's as creepy as it gets.
They're like zombies.
Yeah, it's like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. It's like, did y'all see?
One of them just climbed on the roof.
Yeah, I'm like.
And she does what we'd all do. You get away from me.
And just like, come on, lady, get out of there.
Oh.
So she's like, I am getting out of this family truckster. It's like, how does a mental patient, first of all, they're, again, like you said, Douglas, they're out there milling around.
Yeah.
And this one gets away. And I forget which classic horror tale this was, but there's always that trope of the inmate escaping from the asylum.
Yeah.
And like the whole sanitarium, like buggy, there's like a wreck and you're just like, okay, that just brings up that anxiousness. So it's just interesting to see that they've done it in a different way. It's still the thing of the escaped mental patient. What's going to happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, which was set up, he's in there because of, he committed murder as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, just to kind of highlight this, the late 70s, I think Spielberg did this with like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You set, and I remember my dad explained this to me when I was younger. You put the setting in the middle of America because they decided that Middle America was a good representation of like the general, like physically, geographically, right there in the center of the country. So you had this chunk of stories that had this sort of Midwest suburban setting, and it's very effective. You get
very much so.
Well,
yeah, you get a sense that these
American
streets are
dream.
everywhere.
It's the American dream. I mean, everybody's, at least in this time period, for sure wanted to have a house with a family and a white picket fence, and that's not urban life. So this is perfect for representing that. So if the American dream is at stake, there's a killer out there going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's pretty terrifying.
And here's every girl USA, just a regular chick in America, and walking home. It's funny because these streets look like the streets I grew up on, so it is alarmingly familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, kind of like the same, for me too. It's like, general suburbia. You think that it's, that it's safe for your, for you to live there, for your family to live there. Kids can, run around and do whatever. Just a very idyllic setting. And then you see this dilapidated house.
Yeah, evidence of something that went awry in this neighborhood.
Yes. That's
it's funny. I tried to buy the sign. There's a sign that says Strode Realty in the front yard because they're trying to sell it. I tried to buy one of those signs, and for whatever reason, they're like, it'll get there like November 8th. I'm like, well, that's too late. That's had to cancel.
Yeah, that kind of defeats the purpose. Well,
can't do November.
And you know what? Something else that just hit me too. I don't know if it was this movie, but there's always that trope of the real estate agent trying to sell the murder house.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it in Amityville Horror. You've seen it like in other movies. They talked about it actually in Beetlejuice 2. That was funny.
The Conjuring, was like, you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm. There's always, they're trying to sell the murder house.
Yeah. We got this house at a great discount.
Yeah, it was great. It was a steal.
This guy kind of cracks me up in this. He's so sure of himself, and like from a screenwriting standpoint, almost excessively so. He's just like, I just know something bad's going to happen today. And he's like telling the chief of police, like, you have to lock down the city because I have a hunch. And it's like, bro, it doesn't work like that,
We got to shut down the beach. It's 4th of July. You can't shut the beach down.
Yes. My favorite. One of my favorite scenes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
God, everyone looks so bored. By the time we get to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the kids look even more bored.
Right.
Bueller.
Right. It's just like one of these boring English teachers where it's just like, please, I just want to go to sleep.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah. And it is cool how she still senses that maybe that car shouldn't be there.
Exactly.
Like her attention is drawn to this thing.
Mm-hmm. Because in school, you're used to a certain routine. And when things are not routine, because like kids like structure, routine, when something isn't, causes that like anxiety, especially when there isn't like a real reason for that to happen. Correct.
Yeah. And I didn't say anything like this in the book, but there is something about the girl at the window. There is something there. I just see it a lot. A heroine at the window looking out, either observing something that shouldn't be there or wishing she was part of the world beyond.
Oh, that sounds like something we could all identify with, though.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a really good point.
Yeah, we got Kimberly Ann Hart here. Noah Gooder is here.
Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Noah. Good seeing you guys. Boogeyman comes out.
Yeah, these kids are dressed. Ooh, the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of did want him to just like.
Just remember that little kid. Sorry.
This camera angle is so interesting because it's a moving shot. It's a single shot that lasts several seconds, and it stays below the neck. Yes. Kind of stays in that, not even torso, upper chest area. It's just an interesting shot.
Oh my god!
because we haven't seen his face. And I love how they make up. When you've seen the mask, that was like briefly.
Yeah.
Well, so we know like what he's wearing. We don't know what his face is. So then when they show this scene and they're just showing it from the neck down, like mid torso, like you were saying, that like ups the anxiety level because it's just like I need to see what you look like, but you're not showing me.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what else? In the book world, for book covers, they often say to show characters, especially these days with female characters in like historical fiction. If you go to the new release section, you'll see it'll say like, you know, something about like a medieval princess. They'll show the gown, they'll show the torso, but not the head. They'll show the hands, but not the head or the feet. And the idea is that you project yourself onto that image, or you know that you're projecting whatever your imagination can come up with onto that image. So that's why you'll see them with their back turned. You'll see the back of their head. So when they do that, your mind starts to fill in the rest.
That is very fascinating.
Yeah, it's weird how they do these things.
Well, folks, we are at 19 minutes and 10 seconds watching Halloween from 1978. And well, this don't look good.
No.
Boy. Yeah.
Our first evidence of a new, you know, the wake of terror he's leaving behind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but make associations with this and Terminator, because we got the Terminator, who is like somebody who is completely apathetic to humanity, and then we have this person who's kind of chasing after him. Look, he's hot on the beat, and sort of like trying to be one step ahead or trying to follow the person.
Well, and also the Terminator had to appropriate like clothing, which is what Michael Myers also does.
Yeah. So he just did that.
Hey, Sonia. Good seeing you again.
Oh, Sonia.
Saw you earlier in my theme park stream. Oh, see, here's the group. These are my friends. And I'm the wallflower, and the other ones, they're the social butterflies.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I always associate the word totally with the 80s. So it's funny that even by 1978, they picked up on teenagers talking like this.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And look at these takes too. Long takes, nothing fancy. A lot of times just following her down the street.
Doing normal, average things.
Yes.
So you could be walking down the street and somebody crazy could be following you too.
Yeah, it's funny how skilled filmmakers can create tension by doing nothing at all. Tarantino was good at this. He would just show two people having a conversation, and yet you picked up on that there's danger very close to this conversation.
Oh, no.
Oh, this cracked me up. And the car stops.
I like how she snaps up too, like, whoops.
Oh,
don't mess with this guy.
He's like, I'm coming back for you first.
That is creepy though. When you're a teenager, when an adult, totally like slams on the brakes like that, that'd be pretty unnerving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's usually when you're running, like running,
Yeah.
running,
Whoop.
running, go, get out.
Yeah. It's like this is another long take backwards, just following them down the street. I think filmmaking needs to return to these kinds of shots.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a big spectacle now if you do a long shot. There's really cool because it almost feels like you're walking with them.
It's immersive, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, look at this. We went backwards, then they passed the camera, then the camera stops, and we just watch them walk away.
With them. Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's all of these are conscious decisions by the filmmaker. And sometimes I always ask, like, why? You know, why cross? Now we're across the street, moving onto the sidewalk. You know, so it's just interesting to see what the filmmaker chose to do.
Yeah.
And I love trying to figure out the thinking. And we're going backwards again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like we're not voyeurs, so to speak, but by doing these long types of shots and listening to their conversation, because these are conversations that you would have walking home from school.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're kind of listening to that, getting to know more about the characters for how they interact with each other.
Yeah.
And we need time to do that.
It's a form of world building because you're not, you know, shooting off fireworks here. You're just kind of moving the camera through this world here. Very simple, and we get a great feel for this.
Yeah.
Then of course you introduce the strange thing, like Michael Myers behind a hedge, and we go from this familiar environment to the one thing that's off, right? And we can accept it for some reason.
This just freaked me out so much. She thought she saw Michael Myers, and her friends like, "There's no one back here."
Yeah. We're also getting some character study on these girls, right? We know the other girl is kind of a little bit on the loose side. She's going to do something with her boyfriend. And this one is just like bitter and nasty. You're like, oh, God. Okay, she is not the nicest girl.
Like, the world sucks.
Well, and then it is a trope where the more virginal, conservative type of girl is the one that is targeted. Or the one that survives, I should say. The one that survives the
Notice the look back.
Oh.
that did scare me. I'm like, shoot.
Oh boy.
Look at the sideburns.
Get away from there.
I bring sideburns back.
Oh, I hope they do. I hope they come back. They're nice.
It's like one of the coolest, the few fashion trends.
They're
from
due
the
to come
70s,
back. They've got to come back.
That can come back. Bell-bottom pants, heck no.
Yeah, you can keep those.
Whoo! It's like so much bad.
Well, they were
fashion.
fun.
It's heavy.
Depends on which ones they were. Some of them were fun, especially the ones with sequins on them.
And I noticed, like, depending on like where you live, it's like the cities were more fashion forward, especially like the urban areas. They had like, more colors, more outgoing type of clothes. And then here, like in the suburbs in Middle America, it's more conservative.
Yeah,
it is. Which became kind of a trademark of 80s kids, right? The more the conservative dress and everything. Because it's funny, I look at some of the way the girls dressed in the 60s and 70s, and I'm like, they didn't dress, man, they dressed a lot more like risky. They showed a lot more than when I grew up.
Yeah. Mini skirts, half shirts, all of
like really low hanging jeans and stuff, and those like tank top. I was like, man, what happened?
And then when mini skirts started coming back, ooh, because they did.
Yeah.
It's like, hello. This was before, smartphones.
Or Star 69.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, this was still when you could push the thing to get an operator sometimes, right? In the late 70s, wasn't that still like a thing?
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, for sure.
Late 70s.
I don't know how many times I bugged the operator. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm at.
I need this number.
Yeah, can we get the number for this? And they would do it for free. Oh no, but sometimes they would charge you for some things.
Yeah, I forget which one it was. They would charge you for that.
Yeah, and some 1-800 numbers were like
Hmm.
were charged.
The blowing
Yeah.
leaves. That's not a coincidence. That like I've noticed.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah,
the
now
leaves
think about
falling
this.
down.
You know, we've just spent about 5 minutes watching her walk on streets. You know, I don't know how many filmmakers would have the courage or the confidence to do that today.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing flamboyant about these scenes. This is just, here's suburbia. Here's another look
Yeah.
at suburbia. Here's
Mhm.
us walking in suburbia.
Yeah.
It's Halloween night. You know what that means? Candy. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what people are thinking. It's like, this is what we do, you know, for Halloween. Just, you know, just just another normal day.
Well,
Until
and
it
but I don't
wasn't.
know. I don't. Let me know if this happened in your neighborhood. But Halloween became like we would egg people, or like when we were younger, we would get egged. And then when you're older, you were the one running, you were egging everybody else. There'd be egging and all sorts of like shenanigans on Halloween night. Did you guys have any of that?
Did,
was.
but we called it Mischief Night, and that was usually on the 30th of October.
Oh.
So
Oh.
31st, you see people's houses were egged, their trees had like TP all over it. That
TP
was
in
my
it.
favorite one to watch.
We also
Yeah.
shaving cream was another one. We would charge in and attack kids and spray them down with shaving cream. And by the way, it happened to me too. Like it was like a rite of passage. Like when you were young, all the older kids would come and they would egg you and shaving cream you, and they would take off. And then finally, when you're old enough, you get to do it. But you can't do, like, you wouldn't be able to do that today.
Oh no. You couldn't do that. There's so many other things that you can't do. I remember when I had to take Camera Girl and my nephews trick-or-treating one year, and I just moved back like from LA, and I'm like, okay, we go to somebody's house and they say something inappropriate, you need to let me know. And I'm like, we didn't have to do that back in the day. And my nephew's like, oh, that guy just gave me a hug. I'm like, do I need to call the cops? And he's like, no, see this little hug drink. I'm like, oh, okay. Whew. That was just like, yeah, it's like that stuff you can't do anymore. And most people don't. It's like trick-or-treating house to house is kind of
the parents come with
out of style until it's usually so smaller neighborhood. Yeah, then usually they will, but like trunk or treats have become really, really popular.
Right.
Because they're like a safe area.
Even the way they're showing the streets, like the kids walking home from school. That's how we would walk to school in the morning and walk home. Now, you know, the parents crowd by the hundreds at the school when school gets out and pick up their kids and leave.
Yeah, the pickup line. Oh my goodness, they just go. Yeah, I remember having to do that. I'm just like, I gotta wait in this darn line.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
And it's just like, it's just crazy. But what one scene that I had missed before was the scene at the cemetery.
Yeah, he dug something up. Was it the mask that he dug up?
It was the tombstone, his sister's headstone.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I was always wondering why. Yeah, because I'm like, that scene freaked me out. Because I'm like, how the heck did that freaking happen? I missed that scene. I mean, it's still scary.
It's weird. Like, it's a weird thing. Why would anybody
And isn't there probably a trope too where the dad is the police officer?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least in the Nightmare on Elm Street, there was.
Nightmare on Elm
Yeah, he
Street.
was.
Even Silence of the Lambs. Clarice Starling's dad was a cop. That's why she wanted to get into it.
And one of the kids, one of the girls, yeah, the chief of police is her dad.
Even in Twilight, isn't the dad a
Oh yeah,
cop?
yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he
I
is.
didn't watch Twilight. I
He is.
tried.
You're right.
I tried.
I
couldn't do
can't
it.
lie. I watched Twilight, but it was I was with my future wife, and she had two little like cousins, and so their cousins were coming over and hanging, and they were both girls, and they were both coming over and hanging out with us a lot. And the one girl, the older one, was reading Twilight, so we ended up watching it. So I watched it quite. It was one of those repeat movies, so I watched it quite a bit when it came out, and I actually don't mind the first one. I got to say it wasn't that bad, but it just wasn't for me. It wasn't a movie that I would normally watch.
Same. It wasn't for me. I mean, if I want to watch, vampire movies, I want to watch like Bram Stoker's Dracula or Van Helsing. That's a good time.
Van Helsing, yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
That is a good time. I mean, that movie was so good. I watched the opening, like with a camera girl. I said, you have to watch this because she's an art student. I said, you have to watch this scene. And the one where Van Helsing shows up at Notre Dame Cathedral.
Yes.
To find of all people, Mr. Hyde or Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And she was just like fascinated.
Oh, wow. So is Van Helsing like the Avengers of some of these other characters? Like it has other characters in there?
It does have, they exist in the world, but it was only one movie. So they only really explored Dracula and a werewolf or two, like werewolf kind. And then, they didn't really go into it too deeply. But Van Helsing is sort of like a superhero amongst the without superhero skill.
Wow.
Superhero, I would say, skills, but he was sort of like the smart guy who knew how to take care of these supernaturals.
Yeah, I would say
Andrew Joseph is in the chat, and he reminded us of Blackula as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Blackula. Retro Nerd Girl had a watch party for that on her channel, and it was so much fun. And oh my gosh, watching the house. See, now we get to see the back of the mask, and he's just watching.
Yeah, he's been doing that all day. The people, only person who has even seen him is Lori, and
very
she's
predatorial.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're just like, do you know that you're being watched? And that's another trope of a horror film where we see from the perspective of the villain.
Yeah.
And it's like we can see he's watching you. It's like, don't go over there, don't go there, don't go there.
Now, what is he thinking? What is his plan?
Yes.
And here's Loomis, like hot on his trail. He's getting closer and closer and closer.
Yes. Absolutely. Kimberly Ann Hart, glad that you're a member of the Suave Society as well.
A member?
And what is the Suave Society?
Well, that is the first level of membership for my channel. So it's kind of like, I kind of liken it to like the $1.99 gang. So that's like the first, so that's like the entry level, to like hang out and everything. So yeah, I priced it that way on purpose. So it wasn't a super huge amount of money, but enough to, for folks to get value very, very easily from membership. Right. And of course, the one up from that is the Mediano Mafia. You guys get an extra movie. I'm working on it. We're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine together, actually, because I got the physical media. I totally got the physical media in the digital copy, so that's going to be cool.
Wow.
That's gonna be cool.
I can't lie. I loved Deadpool and Wolverine. I got such a kick out of it.
I so did. Oh my gosh, I hadn't laughed so hard in a movie with a bunch of people in the theater at the same time, and
Yeah.
we're all wheezing.
Yes.
Oh, they're in his house. And here's how we find out more about him.
Oh,
Right.
Well, that wasn't weird at all, was it? We are at 38 minutes and 33 seconds. We are watching John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978.
The good stuff.
yes.
Yes.
No conscience, no reason,
Scary.
no understanding. You know, to your point, Retro, that's almost exactly what Kyle Reese says. You know,
Yes.
he can't be reasoned with, he can't be
Mhm.
bargained with.
Yeah. And he also just earlier just said he's not a man.
Yeah, pale,
Exactly.
emotionless face.
I love this monologue. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
it's very good because it really sets the stage that, you know, this is a villain that is more like you said, Retro, like more machine. It's not, there's no off ramp for this guy.
Yeah. It's a lost soul.
Right, a lost soul, and it's loose.
Yes, and it's loose. And if he finds you a target, you're done for. And he's already found Lori quite interesting.
Stuff Brett said sounds like my ex.
Can't be reasoned with, can't be bargained with
At
He will
all.
never
Oh
stop.
my!
That's funny, Kimberly Ann Hart, because
That-
Professor X is out on the catio actually right now.
Mm.
Definitely not a Marvel property.
Yeah.
It's funny how she goes through like all the comic books.
Yeah, there seems to be a lack of parents inside these homes, right?
Yes.
Yes, I don't know what that was, but the like 80s thing, late 70s or 80s, like I was like, where the heck are the parents?
Yeah.
They're like,
Well, I was
not there.
I was a latchkey kid. Both of my parents worked. So I would, school got out at 2:50. I'd walk home and, I was a little distant. So I'd get home, but then there was no parents there. I was completely unsupervised until about 6:30 when my parents would come home. And then, I remember my dad one time when he would punish me, I was like, well, whatever. I'm only, you can only enforce the punishment from 6:30 to 9:30 when you're home. And he admitted to me years later, he's like, I was so mad at you when you said that. But yeah,
That is so
this is
cute.
like the era where, you had two working parents, divorces were on the rise.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times the parents were home and you had latchkey kids, kind of a feature of
Yes.
Generation X, which 1978 were in that era.
Mhm.
And, I guess there were no parents. So I guess they're kind of capturing that, these unoccupied homes with kids running the show.
And if you were the oldest, that was like your job. You come home from school. Guess what? No, before you get home, you got to go pick up your siblings from school and then have everybody else, in the house. So you're usually watching the younger siblings. So you're like the surrogate parent,
Yep.
whether they want to admit it to you or not.
Totally.
You know,
I remember I'd rush home to watch Transformers and G.I. Joe, but I had to switch it because my sister was there, my younger sister, and she had got to watch Gem and something else. I can't, but I remember
She-Ra?
Gem was her show. Huh?
She-Ra? Did you watch She-Ra?
Maybe it was she didn't watch She-Ra, but I remember Gem. Gem was like the cartoon she would always watch, and I couldn't
remember
watch
that
what
one.
I wanted to watch.
Synergy, the I called the AI, but
she did the one thing you're not supposed to do in a movie like this, is she got stripped. She's stripped.
Cannot
and you know, the big shirt with like just panties or something, you know, where the legs are like that was a pretty common look.
Yeah.
Just wear the long shirt and this made me so mad because I love German Shepherds, even though I don't have a dog. But I love German Shepherds.
That's another tie-in with the Terminator retro. You should do a video comparing the two. The German Shepherds are the ones that always alert them for the Terminators.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They know, like a King Charles dog, they don't do anything. They'll just run and hide under the couch somewhere. But it's usually a working style dog, like a lab or a German Shepherd or something like that, that alerts the family to like what's going on. Like something's not right here.
Yeah.
And I notice a lot of like in a lot of horror movies, it's the pets that'll sense evil before anybody else does.
Yeah, humans are The Thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What year was it, Retro? 1951?
I think so.
So before there were live streams, this is what you had to do. You had to sit on a sofa and
and wait and do the commercials. And
there was no Lorena, there was no retro nerd girl on TV.
You couldn't, switch, do whatever. Even though, they drop commercials in there now without telling you. And
yeah, and all these little boys, they're wearing, the kind of stuff I have in my like little those childhood school pictures. I was wearing like, you know what I'm saying? I'm wearing like a plaid with like the collar on the outside. My hair is a mess.
My gosh. Let's make the jack-o'-lantern. And there's like the ugly couch. I call it the Married with Children. Al Bundy couch. Everyone had that ugly couch, but it was too comfortable, so you were trying to throw it out.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is where you wash your clothes? Oh no, that would have to be done in the mornings.
Yeah, and you know what? If the electricity isn't on, guess what? I'm not out there. Bye.
Yeah, they should. If you're wearing one oversized shirt, panties, it's night, and the electricity's off, you're not doing much at this point.
Yeah, you're not covering a whole lot.
Yeah, you might want to get yourself to a more secure area.
But in her defense, she has not seen Nightmare on Elm Street yet. She hasn't seen.
Oh shoot, that's right.
Yeah, to her defense,
that's totally right.
And you can always see it's like it's like a split screen with the door and her.
They really built up this the tension here, because he hasn't really, he's done one murder, but he hasn't done any like on camera murders. And it's already, we got one big one in the beginning, and now it's 47 minutes in. And we finally get to this point of Halloween night, and we still haven't gotten our first.
But how patient of the director to run this clock like this.
Working it slowly, so you're building it up. You're learning more about the bad guy, what he's capable of. He's like, in every shadow, his face just shows up.
I also think that loop of like setup and payoff. The big payoff hasn't happened, but you see like these little incremental loops. Like you'll see a little bit of them. You'll see them from the back. You'll see them like back, in the background, following people,
Yeah.
happen to decide to eat the dog. That's another thing. It's just like we're finding out bits and pieces, the exposition about who he was as a mental patient. So it's like, even though we haven't seen him completely yet in action, it's like we're getting all this information. Like, oh shoot, really?
Yeah.
Wonder what he's going to be like when we finally see what he does.
Right, and you get a sense, nighttime is his domain. So we spend a lot of time during the day, him circling around like a shark circling, his prey. And now you've got nighttime, and you just get a sense that, all these people are vulnerable. All these people are undefended.
Yeah. You feel like
Yeah.
right now you're thinking like, oh my God, he's going to get the little girl too.
Yeah.
I'll get you and your little girl too.
I like that. That's hilarious. That's too darn funny.
Yeah, they really set you up for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't quite happen.
What?
At least not the way you think.
It's fun to explain these things to your kids. It's like, those are telephones. They were attached to a wire.
Mm-hmm.
And this is pretty classic too. The girl on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Doesn't
you said,
see.
Yeah. He's right there, girl.
Right there. You don't see him.
Oh man.
Turns around and he's gone.
Those are great shots.
Totally oblivious. And it's about the stuff that's going on that they can't see. It's like watching Aliens. And you see Sigourney Weaver, and you'll see like she can't see the alien, but we can, and we're just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
They're right behind you.
mm-hmm. Noah Gooder says, I remember using the house phone for internet. Sorry, Doug, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. That was great. I was just saying this little girl's like a red herring, because in your head you're like, well, they're not going to do anything with a child there,
Yeah, well, that's the other thing with the little boy, because he was following the little boy earlier, and I was like, oh no, is he killed the kid's already killed a dog though? What is he capable?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So all bets are off,
And I wonder how hard these scenes were to light, because this is back in 1977, 78, when they were actually doing the filming. So
he just like jumps up like,
yeah.
He's so sneaky.
Because like Doug said earlier, the scenes we saw in the beginning, like the first hour, are all during the daytime.
Yes.
So he just seems creepy and not deadly. But once, it's dark, it's just like he can see us, but we can't see him. And
yeah, all the characters just seem suddenly unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drinking? Aren't they 18?
Yeah, like they're in high school, right?
Yes. I forget if this was before they instituted the age for liquor laws. Was it?
I think those actually happened exactly on the year I became 18. Which is like
that's something you would remember.
1988, and they're like, yeah, well, we're gonna change it to 21. And I'm like, what?
Because I remember watching when I first saw the movie Carrie. I'm just like, they're drinking, all these cans of beer and throwing the cans out. And I'm like, they're in high school. What the heck? Oh my gosh, this is freaky. It's like, it's dark. Why do you not have the light on? Okay, if you can't turn the light on, Card
Now, how
locked.
far into the film are we?
We
About
are
15 minutes?
52 minutes
52.
and 47 seconds. Yes.
Wow.
We have not had a major kill yet. We've had
since the beginning, right? And so
Yeah, we've had just some
Really
tune-up
great.
kills.
yeah,
yeah,
except for the dog.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
yeah. One to the side that, you can't really definitively say it was him, although we know it was him. And then the
Right.
dog. Hey, Teresa.
Yeah, we didn't see him do it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we didn't.
Hi, Miss Martin. Here's this.
Oh no. You don't get in the car without looking. It's like,
No
who
interior
whispered?
light.
Why is it foggy?
Oh my God! He just pops up.
53 minutes. And
And
that's
he
weird too. Like
shows
you could
up.
see the pale face, but it's foggy, right? You don't really get a good
Yeah.
look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's something creepy about that. It's an expressionless face. You could see the eyes and the shape of the nose. It's just this white, ghostly face.
Oh my God!
And just the
Brutality.
sound effect, yeah, of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is something weird about that horn, right?
Yes.
It's untended.
It was a bit more brutal than I remember. But yeah. He doesn't just cut her first. He strangles her first and then
Strangles her.
Yeah. So,
Well, and while she's
it's a good
struggling, he's not moving at all.
they're watching.
Oh, there you go,
Grandpa.
Retro.
Yeah, I love this movie. Another movie from
Where
the
is he
50s.
going?
He wants to see if he can find. Oh, he's gonna scare her.
There's me and my sister.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the kind of stuff that little boys love to do. Scare the crap out of you.
The boogeyman.
What's funny though is we were always less stealthy than we
Yes.
thought.
Like, I hear you coming. And he's just
really?
like, did I see what I did? Oh.
Yeah, that's a horrible scene.
I freaking love that. He was so cool before. Now he's just like lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stunt Brat. Thank you for all the DVDs. Thank you.
Oh.
Have them in my my physical media collection,
Ah.
which I'm working on. My physical media,
us
and
what
then
now.
like my home entertainment server, because I'll get the DVDs and then I'll rip digital copies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then put them on an external drive. So that way I have copies right from the source.
Makes sense.
Retro, maybe you were talking about Forbidden Planet, right?
Yes.
As one to do maybe I said maybe or something, but maybe we should do that one, Forbidden Planet.
Yeah. It sounds like
Because that is kind of a cornerstone sci-fi film.
Oh,
Yes.
it's wonderful.
Go into the murder house.
Now, this is true. We had two houses down that burned, was on fire one night. I remember waking up and we all watched it burn down. And it sat there boarded up like this, and we went in it. And, we dared each other, and we went in it. And I'll never forget, actually, on Halloween, somebody got upstairs because they put a skull with orange electric eyes up on the. So somebody went up there and put this electronic skull up there. That wasn't awesome. But I remember we went in this house and we got in trouble for it too.
Oh no. We didn't have a house that was like that, but we had like a whole building that was like that. This old lady that wouldn't leave the building because she didn't. I think they were going to raise the rents and everything,
Oh,
and
wow.
refurbish the whole thing. So the entire building was empty except for her, and it was like decaying and it was just so wild.
Wow.
She was crazy. She was like straight
Wow.
crazy out of her mind.
Oh, man, that sounds like a good story.
Yeah, but they were trying to take the rebuild take over the entire
Right.
building, and she's like, nope, I'm not leaving. So
Oh, man, there's a premise there for a horror story.
oh yeah.
He's like, damn you for letting him go if this is true.
Yeah. He didn't
Yeah.
actually let him go, but
Mm-hmm.
True.
but yeah, there isn't much you can do in the legal system when
Exactly. It's like in, it's like in the cop's eyes, it's just like it's your fault for letting him go. But it's just like, okay, if they talk about it in the next, in Halloween 2, where
Yeah.
they talk about, well, there's nothing, we could really do. He wasn't violent towards anybody while
Right.
he was there. He
Yeah.
just did his time. So it's like, what grounds
Did you
do we
ever
really
see,
have to keep him?
Did you ever see Cape Fear?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one where he specifically walked the line of the legal system in order to just completely harass some of the people in that movie.
Mm-hmm. It was like a film called Pacific Heights.
I haven't seen that one.
Michael Keaton. I think it was Michael Keaton. And he basically got into this apartment and turned into the tenant from hell. And he knew like all of the loopholes to like get around everything so he wouldn't get evicted. And he was just like a nightmare tenant.
Wow. Yeah, so the party mobile has pulled up, and now we get what you can't do in the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
That's around.
Yeah. You get marked for death that way.
Oh, he's standing right there.
Right there. We all know that's a trigger, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Annie's house was like the center stone of everything that's happening. So Annie's first, she's the first to go, and now the other two they were, I guess, supposed to go over to her house to party some more, and now they're just
like getting the party started early.
Yeah. And she's seen this boogeyman all day long, and she is like, when her brother says, "Hey, I've seen the boogeyman," she's like denies him that the validation.
Right.
Which is sort of like, I mean, come on, you've seen this. I mean, but I think it's because she doesn't want these guys to be scared.
Really?
That's 100% it, Retro, when I think about it, especially when you're like the oldest.
Yeah.
Even if you're scared, you can't let on that you're scared to the younger siblings, because if they see you're scared, they know there's zero hope for them whatsoever. And they like
total panic.
Yes, complete and total chaos.
Right. I always get a kick out of these guys too. The guys have like no lines in this, or very few. They're just like there to party, and they don't have much else.
Let's smoke and drink and think it's cool.
Yeah, like I mean, that's how the guy in 1968 or 63 was introduced. He just comes in, hangs out, leaves.
Might grab something to eat, take a beer out of your fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's just like, I'm stuck here with these darn kids.
Yeah.
Those kids are saving your life right now.
I can't do anything, you know. But yeah, it's like you're right. They actually are, because these other ones, it's like they're out, you know, and Just like, yeah, you can't get naked, you can't have sex, because if you do, you're on the kill list.
Yeah,
I like how you said it. You are marked for death, sir.
Yes.
It's over.
Totally over. You're not getting off of that list. Not anytime soon.
So they take the phone off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna come into play later.
Mm-hmm. They take it off the hook. Notice there's like, who puts a jack-o'-lantern in their bedroom?
Totally. It's like
they just show you the shadow. That's all. They just showed you the shadow. That's
freaked that. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That totally freaked me out when I just saw it. It's like freaking a shadow and a jack-o'-lantern. You put the jack-o'-lantern outside or like in the living room, but who? It's like, who puts it in their house?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, you see that? I mean, that's what I love about this film, as far as like it being almost the first to like really do this and put the scares in there without doing too much killing. Yeah.
And see, this should pass the Bechdel test. She goes, "You get me a beer." And he's like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually not what the Bechdel test is, but this would meet some criteria, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of like dialogue with men in the movie, but it's a very, even with the story, it's basically around Laurie Strode, her neighborhood, her like group of friends, or or charges like she has to babysit or stuff like that.
Oh boy, the door's creaking.
This also follows the Terminator slightly. They make out, the roommate with her boyfriend.
Yes.
They make out. She goes to the kitchen.
And
There's
Terminator
nothing worse than calling out someone's name in the dark and not getting an answer.
Yeah.
You know that somebody's out there.
Yeah. How would she have gotten down there so fast? And why would you telegraph that?
Fast.
He loves choking people.
He does. He loves choking people. It takes a long time.
That's like Darth Vader level stuff there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the feet off the floor. Off the floor. Oh, and now we get into the stabby.
Yep.
He's insane.
Yeah.
Guy's done.
Just standing there because it went all the way through. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave you there.
And then he just stands there and like stares at him.
And then tilts his head. Oh God, what a weirdo.
Oh, it's just the
uneasy.
Yeah, it's just the like there's nothing redeeming that's there.
Girl, jump out the window and then run.
You got my beer?
Oh, he's got more than your beer.
Mm-hmm. I was always like, did you not realize something was up when he didn't answer? When he was all chatty before?
Yeah. And he's like a gazillion times taller.
Yeah.
I love that Michael Myers puts on these glasses because this shows a level of bizarre thinking.
Yeah. I like those glasses. Cool bike.
Yeah, you can almost, he's just like, I'll put these on over.
Yeah. I'm going to put your boyfriend's glasses on.
And I like how at first she's like, okay, cool, let's go with this.
Yeah.
So weird.
Exactly. Let's get down to business. Where's my beer?
And he is just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so disturbing. And then she gets pissed at him finally.
I'm going to forget you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And this was just so nuts. She's like, She has a totally different idea about what's going on when she gets the call.
Another
You hear the
choke scene.
music.
She's like, oh gosh.
She's like, why are you gonna call me?
Your famous squealing.
Yeah.
So she's already got a reputation for this. That's great.
I forget what horror movie it was. It was kind of like the same situation. It's like, why are you calling me just to be funny? I got better things to do. And on the other end, the friend's like dying.
Yeah.
And I think this is when we finally get to like see more of his face.
Ooh,
You
the
notice
lights go
how
out.
he is when you. Yep. Let me call over there again. There was no text messaging then,
Right.
folks. No text
Go over there
messaging,
with her.
no next door, no WhatsApp, no Twitter. None of that.
She's like, what's going on over there? I gotta go find out.
Yeah. Let me go see. The kids seem to be all right.
Stay in your own house. Don't leave.
I know. It's just like, stay where you're safe. Bar the door. Who in their right mind? Again, this is where it's just in reality. No, I would not be leaving my house to go over there. But that is her friend, so she is rightly concerned about her. Kids seem to be okay. All right, I'm just gonna go across the street and I'm gonna come back.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, and these are a ton of scenes filmed in the dark. Like you don't get great views of this stuff.
Yeah.
And yet in this film, it works. It works.
Yeah, back then you had pen pals or email pals. Yeah. Yeah, no gooder.
Pen pals. Right from like foreign countries. Wasn't that like a thing?
Yeah, you would write some school like in a different country, and all the whole class, you'd write letters and they'd send them all over there. You tell them about your country, they tell you about their country.
Yeah.
Well, compared to the other two girls, I mean, Lori is the good kid. I mean, she's really like, she's not a bad kid, and she's not rude to people or mean to people. But he had to get Annie first because she yelled at him in the car. So she was
exactly.
She was first.
And then LRC, Billy Judd and Matthew Marcio are here.
Oh,
hey Billy, hey Matthew, welcome guys, welcome.
We have
Glad
the dog
you're here. Yep, because pets can sense evil, like with the cats hissing at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are 1 hour. Wait. Yeah, 1 hour, 11 minutes and 40 seconds. And it went from that real slow tension and world building to now it's just like,
wow,
just taking off.
Yeah. Which even now, like they're taking her. She's walking gingerly across the street. She's not like
in the dark,
like,
and
dangerous in
looking at
there.
the house.
Yeah.
I love, and that, God, it's the perfect porch for this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Jack-o'-lantern, nondescript. You got side lights there on the door. No one's responding. In these older movies, they did very simple things to create tension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even like
I
you
loved
said, the
it.
jack-o'-lantern in the bedroom. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like
Her
the Eye of Sauron.
shadow. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's even like during the day, it's like, oh, it's a cute jack-o'-lantern, but at night and just, the light behind it, seeing her walking in the dark and just the shots that they're taking and seeing her shadow. And it's just like, okay, this dude can jump out at any minute, but she doesn't think that there's anything going on. And she's, very exposed. She does not have her friends around her.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're alone, it is a whole different feel.
He's about to go through that door. Something's behind that door.
And the boyfriend's gone, right? He was there. Now he's not.
Yeah.
Wasn't he up against the wall there?
Yep. Yeah. Hanging around.
Around.
Yeah. I mean, just like left him there.
Yeah. It's a sound indicating.
You know what, Retro? You're right. All the dangerous stuff is taking place in this house so far.
Yeah, this is the kill central.
Yeah, the killing floor. Like Dexter when he takes his victims and puts them in the kill room.
Yeah, so if you think about it from Michael Myers' point of view, he shows up to this one house and then people just keep showing up.
He's like,
yeah,
keep on killing then.
Keep on coming.
I mean, I'm just,
I'm just doing what I do.
I'm just trying to come home and, you yelled at me and I had to stop the car and worst neighbors ever.
Keep coming to me.
Yeah.
Wasn't my fault.
But Annie was the one who started it. I mean, he was, following them. He wasn't going to do anything yet. So,
hey,
Annie.
Billy Judge.
Annie's fault, really.
Here.
Oh, Annie's fault.
Why did Michael murder his sister in the first place? Because he's evil. That's the one thing I don't think they ever explained.
No, they didn't.
Why he did it. Yeah. And that's in a way, I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because whenever you see like a murder case, people want to know, why did you do it?
Yeah.
Right.
And there's some serial killers that are just like, because I wanted to. Or they'll say, no, not gonna tell you. It's like when there's senseless murder like that, rational good people want to know, what is the motivation for doing this? It's like when you're mentally ill, whatever, and not knowing is like the worst suspense. There was no excuse for this guy. He had no conscience. There was nothing human left with him at all with this.
And then here's where reality finally collides with our heroine.
This Myers
freaked me out.
He put Annie there.
Annie's there,
yes.
Right.
So, and
there's the boyfriend hanging around again.
There's the boyfriend. Yep. That's the boyfriend.
I mean, this is pretty rough. This is
that was crazy. I'm just like, dang. So she's seeing all of her dead friends.
Yeah.
And these split screen shots are incredible. Half and half.
Yeah.
Whether it's a door, a window, or this just,
Oh, there he is. Oh, no,
girl.
Oof.
I was like, dang.
He didn't strangle her first. And this scene reminds me of Psycho so much.
Oh, yeah.
Where he kind of he attacks that first guy and he falls down the stairs.
Notice his first note that's going on here. The out of tune piano.
Yep.
It's just one note.
And then the classic problem with the heroine, the problem is inside the home.
Yeah.
Home is battleground.
this point, I would be like, just hurdle my body through the window.
Yeah. I mean, risk cutting yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, easy idea right there.
And this just plays into, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is where you get into the primal survivalist
Yes.
part of, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm just going to have to cut myself. And then she goes, this is what I remember, running across.
Yeah. And
she
she's
knows
yelling.
There's kids in the house that are vulnerable. They're not safe. Got to fall down. That's requisite. You got to fall down at least once.
You got to go from full speed to about 15% speed.
These guys are like,
it's like,
they
I don't know who you are, and this does not happen in this neighborhood. You are on your own.
Wow.
Yes, cool. This idea of all the doors are shut to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The limping.
She can't.
Very Sarah Connor-like at the end of Terminator as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, here it comes. It's the Terminator.
And his
and he's coming.
He's not even running.
No, it's like.
And he has a leisurely pace. It's not slow.
He's not running.
Right. It's not slow, but he's just like, I'll get there soon.
Yeah, like I'll get there. I'll get there. Yes, they are Moonbeam. Out of tune pianos and out of tune organs.
Ooh,
pipe organs. Yeah. Tommy's like, what? I'm trying to sleep and I've got my what?
Yeah, this home now is a nightmare zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got to the lines a long time ago, babe.
Yep. Exactly, Matthew.
Right
He's
on.
just walking, taking his time. And Tommy tried to tell you was a boogeyman.
Uh-huh. Oh my God.
At least you got the knitting needles.
He's
like, she got right in the neck.
Everything is a weapon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get that knife.
Mm-hmm.
See, the only thing is that if she keeps that knife, people will think she's the one who killed everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is like,
because there aren't any witnesses.
No.
This is where like the Terminator is laying in the fire.
Yeah.
We think he's dead.
Oh.
And then the hand comes up. Pwah!
Yes.
Retro, you got to do that video.
Well,
the Terminator is based on Michael Myers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Loomis is still out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't hear that girl screaming?
Yeah.
This one, he's just coming home to a murder house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again with the blow. Oh, I see the toilet paper over there.
Yeah, the TV, yeah.
There you go.
But there's just something about, and I think they probably used fans to do that effect where you see like the blowing leaves. It doesn't seem quite natural.
Right. Excalibur, which Retro and I are going to talk about more with the peach tree, the peach blossoms when they're riding on their horses. Those you could tell are kind of blown in.
Ah. But he's behind you right now.
Oh, snap.
Can't kill a boogeyman. That freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is he gonna kill those kids?
Like that's what we think about. And that's what she's worried about.
Yeah.
That's why
Right.
she put them in another room and she like went in the other one.
Right.
Because he knows he's after her primarily.
That is a shield maiden behavior as well.
Yes.
And Dylan Soup is here.
Oh, hey, Dylan Soup.
Hey, Dylan. Dylan's a big horror movie fan
Right on.
as well. Yeah. He says, hey, Lorena, sup, chat? Good seeing you, Dylan. We're watching Halloween, Can you really say you're a horror fan if you've never watched Halloween?
Yeah, I mean, this is where it all started.
Yeah, that's got to be the scariest thing.
Trapped in the closet.
Right there. If you go outside, he's going to get you.
And she's not in a good spot here.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Reminds me of The Shining. He's kind of like bursting in.
Yeah, there you go. See, everything's a weapon. Everything's a weapon.
Yeah.
And he doesn't talk. Yeah, go stab him in the eye.
Get him.
Dylan Soup, this is the original Halloween. This is 1978 Halloween.
Yeah. Not the Rob Zombie version. Like I said, that's apocrypha. I'm not watching that.
Remember, you killed him before and he really wasn't dead. So this time you need to make sure he's dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all bets are off, right?
Yeah.
Decapitation or 2 shots to the dome. That's the criteria.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Escalated quickly.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Vampires, stab them in the heart with a wooden stake, decapitate them.
Yeah.
Robots, decapitation, smash the head. If there's any severed limbs, you got to burn those too because they will come back for you.
She threw away the knife again. This is the second time she's done that.
Yeah, no excuses there.
Yeah.
Hey, Noah Knox Marshall, good to see you. Say, fun show. Sorry, I missed the majority of it. How about a trick or treat watch party? Dang, I had just talked about trick or treat.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna have to get back to you guys about that because I'm looking at my schedule this week.
Schedule wise.
Yeah, schedule wise. So yeah.
You couldn't pay me to sit where she's sitting right now.
Mm-mm.
Look at that.
Dude,
my head would be on a swivel. Yes. My head will be on a freaking swivel.
100%.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's pretty creepy the way he pops up in the background.
Yeah. Yes, it's not natural at all.
Yeah. It's just a sudden awareness.
Dracula.
And boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's standing up. It feels so much like Terminator.
Like, how could you not have eyes on this dude? Like, I'd be there with a shotgun. Oh, you're gonna sit up again? Here you go. I'm shoot you again. But we wouldn't have a story, right? I think it's kind of like that innocence of like it's dead, right? Not going to keep coming after me. He's not going to keep coming after me.
Now he's got her.
Yeah.
Just that crazy breathing.
Well, and the physicality.
Oh.
Boom.
Noah Knox Marshall, a split diopter lens allows you to shoot with both background and foreground elements in focus. Oh, okay.
Yes, that's a very specific technique.
I learned so much from you guys. Thanks, Noah Knox Marshall. It's so awesome. Just like that zombie scare zone, Lorena's head is on a swivel. Yes, it is. It is. I'm gonna have to get that light on my iPhone. So on Sunday when I walk through and I do it Blair Witch style, you can see me. I'm always looking, and they know
Are you
I'm.
going to have the flashlight aimed up at your chin?
No, I'll just have the light in my face. That's a good idea.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's
It's
hilarious.
so great. He looks down there and he's like just mortified because there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
I
No
funny
one
enough, Dylan
shot
Steve
him.
mentions the question, who taught Michael Myers how to drive? I always thought that was
Exactly.
yeah.
It's like, how did he learn how to drive? I mean, they didn't have the really good video games. It's not like he was playing like Forza or my favorite, Outrun.
and that's all joystick, you know?
Yeah.
Back then, that's like Atari 2600, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's the breathing.
Oh, that breathing. Oh my gosh.
So good.
I love the silhouettes of the tree branches waving on this house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And that
man.
is just crazy because you hear that breathing and you know
He's
that
still there.
he's still alive. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you, this film just gives me the absolute creeps, and I flipping love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely
100%. And, you know, it hits on all cylinders. It's slow moving, which works for horror. It's got that creepy piano and that it's got this atmospheric, creepy music. So just by hitting play, you are entering this nightmare Halloween world, and it's perfect. It's the perfect show to kick off a week of Halloween.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is. It is such a classic film. Oh, go ahead, Retro. I didn't
Well, I was
interrupt
just
you there.
gonna say it's really great how it can just show how the everyday life can be scary. And you
Good
know,
point.
it's just like you're just doing your thing, and then there's a crazy person who is like, possibly doing something insane. So it kind of teaches you, okay, don't take it too easy, and look around to be aware of yourself. But also, this is it's frightening on a primal level.
Yep.
Because you're just like, okay, I was just doing my laundry and there was a guy there, people are just walking down the street and he's staring at them. So when you have like a guy or someone's in the shadows looking at you, you're like, okay, is that person okay, or do they want to chop me up into little pieces? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's like the serial killer next door, which is why true crime is so popular, because it's not the stories about the serial killer way across the country. It's the stories about the serial killer who lives in your neighborhood, who's two doors down, who's possibly, the chief of police, or is like, a doctor, or my favorite, the nondescript, well-mannered school teacher, or someone like that you would never expect. And then what you thought was safe is no longer safe. And so many people can relate to their homes not being safe.
Yeah.
As opposed to say, like say Phantom of the Opera. Okay. It's like it's got abstract, romantic, obsessive stalking, codependent, whatever. But that's like more fantasy type of horror.
Yeah,
This
safe
is
horror.
more visceral. Yes, safe horror. And thank you, Noah Knox Marshall, for that $10 super chat.
Man.
I surely do appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys with your super chats, you allow me to do stuff like this, like have these watch parties with these amazing films. So thank you so very much for that. I truly do appreciate appreciate all your support, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Matthew, you know what? This is interesting that you bring this point up. You guys let me know what you think about this, because I think Doug had touched on this a bit earlier. In every horror movie, there's always what I call like the harbinger of death, the one who's just like,
Yes.
don't go up to that house.
Yeah.
Don't go up. You don't want to go up to that house. You know, this happened, such and such and so and so and whatever. And the same thing is happening again. And, you know, people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Happened
Right.
20 years ago.
Warning
That's not...
ignored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The warning ignored, and that is something that happened. There's someone who's like who presents as the wise old man of the terror, and no one believes him, and then they turn out to be right. So yeah, that is not exactly uncommon.
Yeah, or they think he's a complete crazy. Like in Christine, there's a
Yes.
guy who sells Arnie the car.
That's the car. Why did your brother part with the car? Because he died. I'm like, dang, that's what it took. Yeah. And they're just like, is he making this up? And then you start to see just how evil and demented this car is. And yeah, because we're just like, he's nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy. Well, it almost looks like he's wearing a stray jacket too. His little outfit almost looks like he escaped a mental institution.
Yeah, I was like, what's up with that fashion thing? I had no idea.
Can I have one in blue, please?
It was just absolutely insane. Oh my gosh. Reina, when is your birthday stream? Possibly November 6th. That's like my birthday proper, but it may wind up being the day before, actually.
Is that Scorpio? Like it
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep. Yeah. I always remember the end of October being Scorpio territory.
Yep, there's two other YouTubers. We all have birthdays one day after the other. Culture Casinos, his is the 5th. I'm the 6th. Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun, his is the 7th.
Oh wow!
Just like have a big old party.
Yep. So we're just like, that's seriously going to be just like a crazy, crazy party week. But I will keep you posted as to when my birthday stream is going to be. Definitely. I'll let you guys know that. Let you guys know that for sure. Because I like to do a chill stream on my birthday. We just kind of, friends drop in. We just kind of chat, have fun. Probably play Quiplash or my other favorite game, Spot the Weapon or Match the Offense with the mugshot over on the smoking gun. That is like, yes, that is quite frankly one of the funniest freaking things ever. And I've played it like for years, where you go and you see like the mug shots that they have and you have to match the offense to the mug shot.
That's a lot of fun.
And like the panel will guess, the chat will like tell us, we think it's this, we think it's that. And then when they finally reveal it, usually we get most of them wrong. But it's more surprising finding out what's like right, like some old lady getting arrested for assault and battery.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Great. Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely invite you guys on for that. But usually the chill streams, I just like to laugh, have fun, hang out with folks, and just and just have a good time. Oh, thank you. Noah Knox Marshall says thank you. Your podcasts always bring a smile. Just good energy. Yeah,
that's a great comment too.
Yeah, I truly appreciate that, because there's so much doom and gloom that's out there, and I don't like that my birthday is actually the day after election day. Yeah. It could have been worse. It could have been election day, proper. So it's just for folks to have fun. Yeah. Like we have here with these watch parties, we talk about, we talk through the movie, we comment, we make jokes, you guys tell us stuff, we laugh. It's just, I like doing this. And I'm blessed to be able to do it with you guys, especially share my love of film with other film aficionados, and especially with Douglas here on the panel with like the writing aspect
Mhm.
of
Well,
it. So
writing,
that's
and also I
interesting.
think we all have like a Gen X connection. There is something about Generation X, the era we grew up in. We were treated to all these incredible movies, and our culture began to shape around these movies that we remember as kids. And now that we're adults, it's like we've seen the long lasting repercussions of these movies, and they have
Yes.
not died off. They have actually gotten stronger. And
Hmm.
then suddenly Hollywood is stumbling and doesn't know how to do this anymore, and
Yeah.
making these movies even all the more special.
Hmm.
What a great.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
even seeing it in like even see it in animation. Like I would watch things with camera girl, and all of a sudden I'll see something and I'll just start laughing. And she's just like, "What's so funny?" I said, I can tell people your mom's age are writing this shit because of the because of the in jokes and
Oh
everything
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that are that are going that are going on. And yeah, that's why so much retro stuff, you have people who are going back, especially kids who are going back and are seeing, especially on YouTube, stuff that we used to see as kids, and they're fascinated. They're like, this is the kind of movies that were out. Like I talk about Van Helsing, you know. I
Mhm.
said, you like Tim Burton-esque type of stuff. I'm like, watch this, and she's just fascinated
Yeah.
with the story. I
That is
said,
so
yeah,
cool.
we had bangers, even when we thought they were just absolute box office bombs. And looking back, it's like, yeah, that was really
Oh
underappreciated.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Retro and I were talking about, I think last week, Retro and I were talking about how some movies we thought were bad. Like Ghostbusters 2, we're like, that didn't really hold up to the first one. But now I go back and I watch it and I'm like, there's Peter Venkman and Ray Stan. Like, these are the boys. Like, why did I hate this movie?
I,
Even Star
I
Trek
love. I
5,
always
which is
loved
generally
it.
considered to be, well, I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't think of it as highly as the first one.
Yeah,
And now I'm rewatching and I'm like, man, there's the Ghostbusters. Like, what is there to be frustrated with in this movie? Let's just sit back and enjoy the ride.
yeah. Especially
Absolutely.
because we've seen the opposite of what they've, from that
Oh my
franchise.
God, yeah.
So,
Hmm.
which I don't terribly hate or anything. I kind of enjoy those for laughs, but and not
Hmm.
the right laughs. But this, like, I think those two movies just had something special. They tried with the second; it didn't quite do as great as the first, but that first
Hmm.
movie, so iconic, and
Oh
just
yeah.
Absolutely.
building up that, you know, we haven't gotten to the place yet where we're like, these movies are, iconic because of like things that quotes that have been said, visuals that we can never forget, just characters we love and want to be like or want to pretend to be like. So I think these are some qualities that I think are missing today, and it's just overrun with like, okay, what kind of special effects can we do now, or what kind of uh,
Hmm.
fancy choreography can we put in this fight scene? And those are all great, but that does not make a great movie. Not
Well, and I'm starting to
Absolutely.
develop a theory. It's something that you had said, Retro, about how there was there's a theater tie-in. Like when we talk about Wizard of Oz, that there's still a sense of theater, stage, and like these are filmed theater performances, and how film progressed through the 50s and 60s, and there's still little traces of like theater. And then suddenly by the 70s and 80s, the theater was gone. And this is like
yeah,
straight up movies. These are motion pictures, these are movies. And then now we're moving into this like uncanny valley where it's everything's so realistic that none of it is.
yeah,
We're not fooled anymore. It's too much spectacle and stuff. So, maybe there was something about just the era we grew up where there was this real excellent sweet spot between maybe the late 70s and all the way up to the 90s and even early 2000s where where it had not, the CGI had not, dominated yet, and we were getting just straight up cinema for a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, and studios and artists actually taking risks with their arts. Like I think about Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
I did not expect to see what I got and thoroughly enjoyed it. But that was a risk because he had this style that Hollywood really was not into at the time. And he took a risk, put that art out there, and people just like ate it up because it's like it's something different. It's it's not formulaic, but risks were being taken. I mean, movies like Con Air, who would you think about a movie of a plane full of convicts?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So ridiculous. So ridiculous, but also like great entertainment. Like I think the days of like those really low budget movies that really got to you and you stayed up all night to watch it, and they were silly, and they were fun, but and they had a couple of wow moments in it but you would never forget it. Like a movie like Time Cop, or which is like really a lot. That movie just doesn't get enough love. Okay. I
remember
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
And Reservoir Dogs. Speaking of low budget Tarantino, unbelievable.
Reservoir Dogs. You saw like Jackie Brown where he did that one, or even
Jackie Brown was great. I studied that one.
Or even just films like I love like the Paul Verhoeven films, like of course RoboCop, Total Recall. I'm still gonna freaking love that darn movie.
Total Recall, so great. And
love it.
It's just too funny.
Troopers.
Yes.
Troopers.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
That one's wild.
If you're really crazy, Showgirls. I watched
Showgirls.
They were having fun. They were having fun with this stuff, and we all went along for the ride. And now it's like I feel like they're having trouble having fun making these movies. And they're having trouble getting a single vision into these movies, and as a result, you're getting kind of patchworks coming through. And of course, good movies still exist. They are still making some good movies, but man, I mean, every week we were getting 5 new releases that all turned out to be classics. And what the heck? I do think there will be a return.
Yeah. I think the pendulum is starting to shift the other way. I tell people, look at like independent studios, especially studios like Skydance.
Skydance.
Look at them. Yeah. Skydance has their hands in everything.
Universal.
Blumhouse. And I keep bringing them up. Yeah. Blumhouse they've been phenomenal with their storytelling. The budgets are notoriously low, and those movies make tons at the box office because they'll use practical effects and camera shots to make up for a lot of that with really really good stories. So you have Blumhouse, you have some other Angel Studios, A24. Yeah, I've been noticing. A24. I've been watching much more stuff from these studios. And granted, I will never watch a Terrifier movie. I got tricked into seeing that with something I got recommended, and I did not know what the heck I was getting into. That is so not my thing. But the fact that a movie like Terrifier 3, which catered to its audience, I think it was actually crowdfunded by that audience, did better than Joker 2.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Amazing, because Joker 2 is kind of considered an avant-garde, anti-establishment type of movie. It was rated R and everything going against it, and it kind of blew the lid off. And it's weird because Joker, it's not a fun movie. It is very there's not a lot to like about it in terms of the fun quality, but it's so brilliantly written and brilliantly acted. And then they decided to make like an anti-Joker sequel.
Yeah.
Where they went against what they were doing. And someone advised them the wrong way, and they came up with this real clunker, and it fell apart. But you're right, this indie effort ended up beating them.
Yeah, and just it was undeniable. The box office receipts, totally undeniable, so much so that they're making a Terrifier 4. But it's very obvious. You see these studios that are these indie studios that are taking risks, other studios like Angel Studios. A lot of these people are getting, funded, independent funding, and they're coming up with these movies and stories that
Yes.
people actually want to see, and they're being rewarded, for that. And again, there was a time in Hollywood where they did that. So,
well, Hollywood got to this point where instead of trying to figure out what is entertaining, they were like, we're just going to tell you what you should like, and screw you if you don't like it. There's something wrong with you. And which is insane to me. It's insane that Hollywood has taken, when growing up, I always felt that Hollywood really liked us. They really tried hard to entertain us. And then we rewarded them by becoming lifelong fans of their franchises and their films. I mean, it's 2024 and I'm spending my night watching 1978 Halloween and loving it. Right. So like lifelong fans when you do a good job.
absolutely. And I think indie studios like Imagination Bay, pre-production starts Monday on our first feature. Yes, Noah Knox Marshall. Love indie studios where you guys are out there doing the darn thing. And the barrier to entry has shifted. You can have someone shoot a whole movie on an iPhone.
Right.
And have someone do the special effects somewhere halfway across the world.
Yes.
And you repackage that, and you don't even need a theater release. You'll just say, hey, we're just going to drop it on our website, and you pay this amount of money, and you can get to see it within the comfort of your own home or your device or whatever, totally circuiting the Hollywood machine. And that's what they're scared of. They've got this hubris now where we're going to tell you what art is, and you're going to like it. We're not going to let you, the audience, decide on your own whether you like it or not. We just put our art out there, but it hasn't been hurting enough. It's hurting, but it's not enough yet. And I think they're completely blind to it. There's some of them that are trying to make changes. Probably not going to happen for a while, but again, you've got these indie studios that are already out there and doing this, and they're much more agile.
And they're sharpening their skills. Right. Yeah. Well, Disney, some of these other companies are like, gee, how do we do this? These other companies are evolving and getting better with their indie projects. And I think we're going to see a lot more of them. And I even said, I think at the beginning of this stream, I do think there's going to be a return to straightforward filmmaking, practical effects. I think you're going to get some of that back in there because A, they're cheap, and B, they work, and C, you don't need to have a big budget to tell a great story. And I think, Endgame, it might have been the pinnacle of the big budget effort, maybe never to be topped. But I think now we have to get back to basics.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, this was an absolute joy. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I love watching these movies. Love watching them with you guys, with Retro, and with Doug, and you guys. Just the commentary. It's just so much fun, and I learn so much every time I get to hang out with you guys. So let's shout out your channels, what you have going on. So Doug, what do you have going on and coming up to let the folks know about out there?
So I will be launching a YouTube channel. The goal is November 7th. So it'll be after Retro or after Lorena's birthday, I promise. But yeah, and we'll be going over film, and I'm going to specifically try to focus on a writer's angle on some of these films, and also what you could do as a writer to do this on your own. But also a love of movies, which we get here as well. So that's what's coming up for me in the coming months. I'll also be with Retro in 2 weeks to do Batman 1989, right? Is
Yeah.
that what's on deck?
Yes, on the
Nice.
yeah.
From Uncle Tim Burton.
This town needs an enema.
Oh man.
So that's what I've got going. I'm looking forward to it very much.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to your channel launching, Doug, so we
Oh,
can
it's gonna be so great.
get you plenty of subscribers and let people be aware of your channel. So, folks, in the meantime, definitely check out Doug's website. I have that in the description box of this video. Up and coming, you definitely want to get on the bottom floor with his channel. Retro, what do you have going on? Let the folks know about.
Well, earlier today, all three of us were doing a watch party for The Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954. We had some really great commentary. So if you missed it, go back and check it out. And if you did, we were with us, just go back again, so we can continue to enjoy the fun that we had, and reminisce a bit. And then next week, I'm going to be doing Coming to America 1988. And Reina Creole is going to be joining me for that. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
I so cannot wait for that. Coming to America I think that was like, that movie was just, there's so much heavyweight talent that's in that movie, and so much talent that we no longer have with us.
Yes.
But it's just, it holds up so much over time, and it's just a good time. Again, just a film to enjoy. Everyone can watch. Side-splittingly funny.
So
and just great. So that's, oh my gosh, that's gonna be such a great time. Yes,
McDowell's, yes, and Soul Glow,
and the couch. That's how I'm gonna say. And the couch. Oh my gosh. So yes, definitely.
It has really amazing music. So some really good songs.
And some of the best choreography from, I think, was it Alvin Ailey Dance Studio, I think?
Oh,
or was it remember that?
Yes. So good.
It's oh my gosh, it's so freaking off the chain. It's totally awesome. So that is going to be such a fun time. Y'all are going to get sick and tired of me quoting that darn movie, because the lines were just so funny. And especially if you've watched Trading Places.
Yes.
One of the best
I love Trading
callbacks.
Yeah.
To that that is, oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite movies to watch
that is
for Christmas.
Well, maybe I can convince you to come on when Doug and I are going to look at Trading Places.
Oh, I definitely will, because I think we already did that on my channel.
There's your dollar.
Yes.
There's your dollar.
Yeah, because I thought it would be really good to do it like just between Christmas and New Year's, because they do have both holidays in that movie.
They do.
So
they do.
Yeah. So
they absolutely do.
Let's have some fun with some Eddie Murphy movies. Why not?
Oh man, he is sorely met. Like his humor. Like I feel like comedians are so handicapped today.
Yeah.
It's
best to go in the past.
Yeah. Stuff where just so long as it was just funny, everybody would just laugh at it. So I know that's gonna be a banger.
Did anyone see that movie Saturday Night yet? It just came out, I believe. It's about the group of guys and gals who basically created Saturday Night Live, which is amazing, because Retro, you and I were talking while watching Blues Brothers about something happened in the late 70s that was different from the early 70s. Where the baby boomers like kind of just said, you know what, we're gonna start having fun, and you get this huge crop of future comedians that come out of this, and they were just visionaries. And then lo and behold, there's a movie coming out about it. So I just wondered if anyone saw it, because we've got to see that.
Not yet, but as soon as I can, I will try to.
Yeah.
it's it'll bring back some memories, and I hear that there's some really good performances of people like nailing certain characters. So I'm like, yes,
Really?
I want to see that. I love impersonation, so it should be
Yes,
really great.
exactly. Exactly. That was such a great film. So you do not want to miss that watch party on Retro Nerd Girls
Yeah.
channel. I cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
As for myself, well, I'm gonna be at the parks a lot next week because it is Halloween week. So Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be at Halloween Horror Nights. Monday, I will be at the Magic Kingdom. So we'll be there in the evening. Gonna see how many times we can ride the Haunted Mansion in
Ooh.
one night. And then after we do that, I'm gonna head on over to the Contemporary Resort because the cast members over there have pumpkins and we can vote on, the jack-o'-lanterns that they made over there. So we're gonna actually go on
Oh,
over
wow.
there as well.
Wow.
At least that's the plan. At least that's the plan to do that. So we're going to do that, and of course, let's see. Tuesday, of course, is the Spice Lounge, spicy pop culture talk all week. And Wednesday, I will be back at Halloween Horror Nights for Mischief Night. Thursday night, I will be actually down at Disney Springs for Halloween because I'm curious as to what they have available, as there isn't any admission to get to Disney Springs. And Disney Springs is very, very popular with folks. It's free to park there. You have all of these stores, and they usually bring a good amount of entertainment. So I'm curious as to what Halloween entertainment is going to be there. And if they've got the lady from Halloween in, you know, she actually rides around in a jack-o'-lantern. It's so cool. She's literally in this jack-o'-lantern while she's, rolling around Disney
Really?
Springs. Sometimes they have stilt walkers there. Yeah, so I am very curious to see what that is like. And plus, I'm gonna go check out my favorite disrespectful candy place, the Candy Cauldron. We're gonna go down to
Ooh.
Candy Cauldron.
What makes it
Yeah.
disrespectful?
Everything.
Oh, everything. They will make candy apples in front of you, Rice Krispie treats in front of you, especially the apples, the caramel apples, and they
Oh,
get
yeah.
the red candy apples, and they're so good. The cupcakes are kind of pricey. Forget that. Big, huge cookies, the like s'mores, the baked goods that they have in there. Of course, my favorite, the Powerade slushies that they'll have. So they have like all these different slushy flavors. But
Powerade.
the theming of the Candy Cauldron is basically the evil queen from Snow White when she turns into the old woman and she has the apple. So there's literally a statue in there where of the evil queen as the old lady. She's got the poison apple that she's holding,
Wow.
and that whole area is themed towards, her, the
Nice.
area where the evil queen makes like all her potions and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
It's like
exactly
a
what it looks like
dungeon.
in there.
Yeah. It's a post a potion.
Potion room, and it's got all the
Yeah.
wrought iron of like the apples and everything. It's really cool. So
Wow.
I love going in there for that reason. But yeah, we're gonna go see what's going on in Disney Springs for Halloween. Probably gonna have lots of kids trick or treating, lots of other activities going on. So just kind of show you guys that there's alternatives if you can't get into Halloween Horror Nights and it is crazy and packed, which is why I'm passing. Then there, of course, there's the Halloween party, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at the Magic Kingdom, but that's $200 a night. That's on
Wow.
Halloween night, $200 a
Yeah.
pop per
Oh, thanks.
person.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that once. Not
Ooh.
worth $200. But
Wow.
for some people, that's what they want to do, and that's their thing, and they come in for that, they dress up for that. It is a very, very different experience, that you can't get during the day. But decided we're going to Disney Springs so we can go and check stuff out down there. So please do follow me for that. Watch parties for members. Sunday, 2 p.m. We're going to be watching Megan for all levels of
Ooh.
membership. If you're Mediano Mafia or higher, I will let you know when the watch party for Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be. So, whole lots of stuff that are coming. I love movies. Can't wait to keep sharing movies with you guys. So thank you guys so much for being here. We so appreciate you spending your valuable time watching with us, watching us on replay. Make sure that you drop a comment. Let us know. Excuse me. Let us know how you like the watch party.
Yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed to all the folks here on this panel. And we, of course, will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.